I'm going to show you the way I play the plena as a one-man unit instead of a team with 2 or 3 other players. And when I worked with Manny Oquendo's Libre, which I worked there in that band for more than 17 years, we had a few plenas that we would play. And eventually I figured out how to do this by myself. So I'm going to lay the patterns that I do of plena to you, the way I do it with Libre. And it goes like this. That's a combination of the llamador, seguidor, and the requinto together. The plena is a very popular rhythm in Puerto Rico, evolved throughout the 40s and the 50s. It was what the workers used to do in their spare time, in their lunch breaks or in between. And they were not played on congas, but in this tape we did it on congas, but they were played on hand drums that were like tambourines without the jingles, you know, just playing round hand drum that held in one hand, played with one hand. And there were 3 of them. There's the llamador, seguidor, and the requinto. And it was originally played in Ponce, Puerto Rico, in a barrio called San Antón. And in the 50s, when the politics on the island itself were changing, because in Puerto Rico, I'd say for almost from 1898 to 1953, the United States occupied and governed Puerto Rico illegally. And in 1953 was when they got their first Puerto Rican governor, because before that all the governors of the island were all retired Army generals. And there was a lot of revolutionary activity happening, the people trying to gain control of their island, and the plena was one of the communicators to most of the workers on the island. And there was a large upsurge in the 50s. I mean, even the 4 Puerto Rican nationalists that attacked the House of Representatives, they wanted to shoot Truman, you know, to make a statement about what's happening, you know, the illegal occupation of the island from 1898 to 1953. That's a long time for the people of Puerto Rico not to have their own government. And one of the very famous orators and legal minds of that time was a man called Albizu Campos, who was imprisoned for leading the Nationalist Party, and the 4 people that attacked the House of Representatives were involved in his party. So he ended up in jail till almost 1969, and he died in jail. And they couldn't keep him in prison on Puerto Rico, on the island itself, because the people would have got him out. That was how popular and how brilliant he was. He was almost like the Malcolm X of Puerto Rico. And except that he went to Yale and Harvard and had law degrees and military degrees. You know, and you know, he was there imprisoned in Georgia till he died. You know? So the plena was a very important communicator of the things that were happening around that time on the island. And, well, that's what we used as the newspaper or the radio.